Welcome to this deep focus strategy session. Take a slow, deep breath, and let's settle in. Today, we are calmly and systematically deconstructing the Cambridge AS level Afrikaans syllabus, specifically targeting the environment topic. We're going to process complex themes like global warming, acid rain, and pollution, but more importantly, we are going to decode the exact structural requirements of this exam. We're stepping completely away from exam anxiety and moving into a space of serene, methodical, and highly logical preparation. Picture your mind right now as a pristine, distraction-free workspace. Our focus level indicator is set to 100%. By the end of this session, you will know exactly how to calmly isolate the exact command words in high-tariff exam prompts with total precision. Let's peel back the filler, isolate the core mechanics, and dive right in. Consider this insight from a senior examiner. The difference between a B and an A star often comes down to this specific topic. Now, you might be wondering, why is that the case? Why does the environment topic serve as the ultimate gatekeeper for top-tier marks? It's because this topic, encompassing the intricate realities of global warming, air, and water pollution, inherently demands two things simultaneously. First, it requires precise, technical Afrikaans vocabulary. And second, it demands the ability to weave incredibly complex, multi-layered arguments. It is simply not enough to just know the translated words for acid rain or carbon emissions. The examiner is looking for your ability to logically connect these environmental crises to broader socioeconomic impacts without losing your structural discipline. When you finally understand the architecture of what Cambridge is truly asking for, this entire syllabus transforms from a daunting, endless list of vocabulary into a predictable, highly structured, and incredibly satisfying formula. Here is our minimalist roadmap for today's session. First, the core principles. Second, technical methodology. Third, critical analysis. And fourth, top examiner warnings. Let's systematically process these blocks. Section 1. The core principles. Let's lay down our pristine theoretical foundation. Successful candidates must calmly demonstrate competence across all three of these distinct cognitive domains, rather than just passively memorizing vocabulary. To understand how this works in practice, imagine a shared digital workspace. Two incredibly dedicated scholars are collaborating on a response. We'll call them Alex and Sam. Alex is highly analytical and incredibly precise, but sometimes has a habit of crowding the page layout with unstructured facts. Sam, on the other hand, is creative and dynamic, but occasionally loses focus on specific command word parameters. They are staring at a complex, high-tariff Afrikaans prompt regarding environmental policy. Alex immediately starts typing. Okay, Alex says, we need to define global warming, list all the greenhouse gases, and explicitly state the effects on sea levels. Alex is entirely focused on the first cognitive domain, knowledge and understanding. But Sam pauses the typing and calmly counters. Wait, Alex, look closely at the command word. The prompt doesn't say describe, it says evaluate the impact. If we just list all those facts, we are stuck at the descriptive level. We aren't hitting the other two domains. Sam is exactly right. The second domain, analysis, requires you to pull apart the prompt and show exactly how and why a process is occurring. And the third domain, evaluation, is where you step back and make a judgment based on hard evidence. Sam tells Alex, we need to cleanly transition from stating the facts about sea levels to analyzing how that displaces populations, and finally, we have to evaluate whether current government policies are actually enough to handle it. Recognizing exactly which of these three domains a question is targeting is the zen of decoding command words. It protects you from running out of time because you only write exactly what the examiner requested. Cambridge heavily rewards a logical, structured reasoning approach that prioritizes deep analytical focus over a scattered, superficial breadth of facts. Let's return to Alex and Sam's digital workspace to see this in action. Alex is feeling the pressure of the clock and suggests, let's just write down every single thing we know about acid rain, air pollution, and global warming. If we cover everything, they have to give us the marks, right? Sam shakes their head, highlighting the text with a clean digital stroke. No, that's a trap. That creates a massive, sprawling essay. It will have incredible breadth, but it will be completely superficial. Sam proposes a different framework. Let's choose just 3 core impacts of air pollution, only 3, but we will analyze each one with absolute precision. We will outline the cause, the direct effect, and the long-term socioeconomic implications. We will map it out perfectly. They challenge each other's layout choices smoothly, writing out their sentences out loud to perfectly fit the mark scheme parameters. Alex agrees, and they begin to craft a deeply focused, mathematically precise argument. This is the difference between panic writing and strategic execution. Your goal isn't to empty your brain onto the page, it's to construct a targeted architectural response. Principal examiner reports consistently emphasize that integrating precise definitions with smooth cross-topic connections is what elevates an answer to that coveted A-star level. Think of your knowledge as a well-organized, cleanly designed database. When you define a term like acid rain in Afrikaans, you do so efficiently and precisely. But the real high-yield leverage comes from those causal relationships. Alex and Sam realize that if they're discussing water pollution, they shouldn't just stop at the environmental damage. By linking the degraded water quality directly to its devastating economic impact on local agriculture, and then seamlessly integrating its subsequent effect on public health infrastructure, they build vital, undeniable bridges between isolated facts. This theoretical architecture is exactly what the examiner is desperately looking for in a sea of average papers.
Section 2. The technical methodology. Let's transition into the exact technical flow required.
Let's breathe and refocus. Before we write out our final top-band paragraph structure and process these 5 technical steps, make sure your daily study dashboard is complete. Subscribe to Ace the Exams at Ace the Exams right now and enable all notification alerts. Whether your target is an IGCSE, an O-level, or an AS and A-level A-star, this channel is your weekly space for stress-free, deep-focus exam mastery. Now, let's get back into the flow. By adhering to this standardized 5-step sequence, you protect your mind from cognitive overload. But what happens when you hit a structural roadblock mid-paragraph? Imagine Alex and Sam are working through step 3, executing their analysis. But suddenly, their evidence drops completely out of alignment with their main point. The paragraph is starting to fall apart. This is where we step in with a serene, visual structural framework, the Peel structure. Point, evidence, explanation, link. We show them how to calmly restore balance to the text. Step 1, identify the key elements. You make your point. Step 2, apply relevant principles. You drop in your textual evidence. Step 3, execute analysis. You provide your detailed explanation. And step 4 and 5, verify results and present format. You link it all beautifully back to the core prompt in a clean, legible layout. When you rely on this system, you extract maximum value from every single question, every single time, without fail.
Here's a deeply comforting truth. Even if your final conclusion falters, showing your working step-by-step is your safety net. It earns you vital method marks along the way. This is an absolute game changer for your exam strategy. Imagine you are interpreting a highly complex Afrikaans text, detailing the chemical composition of industrial air pollution. What if, under the pressure of the exam, you slightly mistranslate the final concluding sentence of the article? Are you out of the game? Absolutely not. If you used your Peel framework, if you clearly stated the initial premise, provided a direct quote as evidence, and calmly attempted to explain the logical link, the examiner will reward you for the process of your analysis. The structure is what saves you. Never just drop an isolated final answer onto the page. Guide the examiner smoothly through your entire thought process.
Welcome to our first interactive practice arena. We call this challenge the Mindful Scan. Picture a highly complex Cambridge source chart on your screen. It's a dense table detailing global carbon emissions and their direct correlation to rising ocean temperatures over a 20-year period. It is packed with overwhelming numbers. I am starting a 60-second visual countdown timer in your mind right now. Your task is not to read every number. Your task is to extract the single most high-yielding core trend. In a state of total calm, you let your eyes glide over the data. You ignore the minor yearly fluctuations. You are looking for the overarching narrative. There it is, a consistent 30% spike in emissions directly tied to industrial expansion in the second decade. You extract that specific percentage, you interpret the relationship, and you draw a crisp, evidence-based conclusion. You just bypassed all the noise and secured the marks in under a minute. That is the power of the Mindful Scan.
Section 3. Critical analysis. Let's elevate our responses to the absolute highest marking bands. Let's enter our second interactive practice arena, the imperfect answer. Picture a flawed student paragraph on the digital display in front of you. The student wrote, "Factories produce a lot of toxic waste. This waste goes into the rivers. The fish die. This is bad for the environment because it pollutes the water." Let's use a clean highlighter stroke to identify exactly where the structural discipline breaks down. The entire paragraph is trapped in level 1, the descriptive level. They're just stating facts. To fix this, we calmly rewrite it out loud, ascending through the higher order framework. We start with level 1, the point. Industrial operations continually discharge toxic waste into local river systems. We move to level 2, the analytical level. This accumulation of toxins drastically reduces aquatic oxygen levels, leading to mass fish mortality and the subsequent collapse of the local fishing industry. Now we ascend to level 3, the evaluative level, where the top marks live. Ultimately, while industrialization provides immediate job creation, the irreversible degradation of foundational ecosystems makes this economic model entirely unsustainable without severe regulatory intervention. Do you feel the difference? That is how you sculpt a flawless block of text.
Top-performing students exhibit a deeply connected understanding by calmly questioning assumptions and justifying their final recommendations with hard, irrefutable evidence. When you are assessing source material about a proposed environmental solution, say a massive carbon tax initiative, do not just accept the text as absolute truth. A true A-star scholar questions the baseline assumptions. You must ask, will this tax actually function as intended in a rapidly developing economy, or will it just cripple small businesses? You must weigh the undeniable environmental urgency against the harsh, immediate economic reality of the local population. Consider both perspectives equitably, and then, most importantly, justify your final stance using direct evidence extracted from the provided text. This level of serene, objective debate on the page is exactly what evaluative thinking looks like in its purest form.
Section 4. Top Examiner Warnings. Let's deconstruct the pitfalls so you can avoid them entirely.
Let's navigate past the 3 classic examiner traps with absolute confidence. Trap number 1, using the wrong approach for the context. If the source material is focused on localized urban air pollution in a specific South African city, your Afrikaans vocabulary and your analytical arguments must be hyper-localized to that exact scenario. You cannot rely on a generic, pre-memorized essay about global emissions. Trap number 2, forgetting format and presentation. If you let your anxiety take over and blend your descriptive points, your analysis, and your evaluation into one massive, unbroken wall of text, examiner compliance plummets. They cannot easily find where to award you marks. Trap number 3, answers not specific to the context. Keep your points meticulously separated, use clear paragraph breaks, and tailor every single sentence to the exact environmental parameters provided in the prompt.
As we reach the peak of our focus session, let's process this final, definitive morning. It beautifully summarizes our entire strategy. We are distilling everything into 3 core focus pillars. Pillar 1, the 3-step question scan. This is where you decode the command words, isolating exactly what the examiner wants before you write a single letter. Pillar 2, the marks per minute flow formula. This is your pacing. You don't write endless superficial facts. You write structured peel paragraphs that maximize your yield per minute. Pillar 3, the final polish review pass. This is where you check your theoretical architecture, ensuring your cross-topic integration is clear and your method is visible on the page. Your methodical, visible thought process is just as valuable as the final answer itself. Alex and Sam are now looking at their completed, flawless response paragraph on the digital notebook. The structure is pristine, the analysis is deep, the evaluation is grounded in evidence. Our focus meter is officially maxed out at 100%. You are now equipped to dismantle complex, high-tariff questions without a trace of exam anxiety. So how will you apply this critical, structured approach the next time you face a massive prompt on global environmental impact? Take this clarity with you. Subscribe to Ace the Exams. At Ace the Exams, click the notification bell for future focused deployments and leave a comment below identifying the specific subject, tier, and target grade you are currently meditating on. Stay calm, stay structured, and keep your focus absolute.